Who's your favorite actor
Oof.
and actress? I have to ask you
I
this.
know. Oh, that's a really tough one. I'm just going to do the first person that pops into my head. It was Ralph Fiennes.
Okay.
I just remember the English Patient.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it was. That film just enraptured me. Robert Redford too. Sorry, I can't have two, but I love some of the older gentlemen.
Yes.
Paul Newman, all those guys. Obviously, Pacino, De Niro. I mean, we could go on and on with. There's so many great actors, even younger ones now. So I know it's a 30-minute show here. Women, Kristen Scott Thomas. Gosh, so many women. Kate Blanchett, Nicole Kidman. I mean, my peers, I think we're all around the same age. I just love people doing incredible work. Amy Adams. It's just fun to see people go outside the box and challenge themselves and don't play the same roles you've always played.
Mm-hmm.
They're choosing really interesting, provocative, sometimes dangerous roles.
Yes.
It's fun.
How do you deal with the pressure in Hollywood? You know, you need the next role. You know, there's always something going on. It's not like you go to nine to 5, right? You go to work and everything is the same every day, right?
Yeah.
How is that life for you?
When I was younger, I remember it was more stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And now as I get older, you have to live your life. You have to have other interesting things happening in your life, hobbies or things you love to do. I started the nonprofit because of many reasons, but it fills another need. Acting is not the only thing. It's a job that I do, but it's not who I am, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, piano, I love to just keep learning. And thank God I'm married to someone who's the exact same way. He's very curious, and I think it helps keep you grounded. Also, my spiritual practice keeps me grounded, and I realize I'm here to do many other things, not just be an actor. So while other people, my friends, are kind of, they get upset about, oh, I'm not working, I haven't booked a job, and I don't do that anymore. I used to, but I've grown, I think, in that area that there are so many other things that I love to do.
So less stress, you're able to enjoy life more.
Yes, travel, or maybe try to write. I admire writers so much, and so I'm trying to start that.
Do you sing?
I do.
I think you sing, right? At what level you have?
Well, it's been a while. I remember doing a movie called The Black Rose, where I played an Irish singer. And we did a CD, and it was fun, but it's not, I'm okay. I mean, I can sing, I can carry a tune. And that's why I got into USC, so, but it's not something that, I might get back into it. I don't know, because I'm starting the piano again. I played my whole life, so I'm doing that, and I always wanted to write a one-woman show about stuff, because some really cool stuff happened to me in my life. I have a sister that I never knew I had. So she found me, a full-blood sister. Wow. She found me 12 years ago. Wow. And so that has been one of the most incredible things in my life, is having...
That's gotta be, yeah.
I was an only child.
That's amazing.
So,
wow,
yeah, it was really, I have a niece, I have a nephew.
So how did she find you? Was it through a movie, or how did she actually...
Yeah, well, my parents were in college, and they couldn't have the child. And so my mom went to Catholic Charities and put the baby up for adoption. And so in Catholic Charities, they won't tell you who your real parent, your birth parents are, until one of them dies, which is it's a terrible policy, I think.
Yes.
So my father passed away, unfortunately, very young, in 2006, and she got the letter in 2007, and that's when she really started her search, because she had no information.
Right.
So she started the search, and dead end, because she had his name. And I didn't put an obituary because it's a long story, but I hadn't. So he was nowhere, and that was pre-internet. I mean, you have to start to think what we have now, and searching people and finding people, and you see. But back then, it wasn't as easy. So through my grandfather's death, after my father, same name, but he was a second, then she started looking and cluing in and saw my name and said, oh, I have a half-sister.
That's a pretty amazing story.
Yeah.
It's a happy ending.
It's a happy,
story.
very happy ending. Very. She's an incredible doctor. in Pennsylvania.
How important is faith in that sense in your life, and how does that translate into your work?
Yeah, that's, I was raised Catholic, so I've been since birth, and I've expanded on that, meaning I have a spiritual practice, and I think it's really important. I think sometimes I have to play roles that maybe that are not likable, but I myself cannot judge the characters I play. I like to pick roles that I feel will inspire people, again, help people. I feel that's my job here on earth, is to be of service. So my service is acting, but also not my nonprofit. But it's a tough question, because there are things that I look at, scripts I get sent, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this. I don't know if this is needed.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of how I look at it.
Well, in conclusion, I'd like to ask you, what would be your advice for young people who want to get into acting, for kids like you were, and they want to make it big in Hollywood? What would you tell them?
Well, things have changed, obviously, dramatically, with internet, social media. A lot of people are doing social media and doing very well, becoming influencers, and whether they're comedians or dancers or singers, people are coming to Hollywood's coming to them and going, we like her, let's make a show around her. But if that's not your thing, because social media isn't for everybody, get a good education, do theater. I think that's the foundation of everything, is being on stage. So if you want to be an actor, I think if you want to be a true actor, I feel my career is about longevity.
Yes, yes.
But if you just want to be famous, I guess that's a different path.
Yes.
I never thought about that when I was a little kid, loving acting and going to play to rehearsal and playing Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Nothing about being famous. It was about, I loved doing it. I loved being on stage, right? I loved the audience reaction. So yeah, I think getting an education, and nowadays you can audition really from anywhere. If you can't afford to move to LA, or maybe you just want to stay, Atlanta has a lot of filming, New York, Chicago, Florida. There's so many. When I was growing up, you had to be in Los Angeles or New York, and that was it, and maybe Chicago. And now you can self-tape, which is really nice. So the net is wider now, with casting directors seeing more people, right? And it's cool. Everyone's getting a shot. Everyone's getting opportunity.
Now, still you have other things you're doing, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you think most other actors are in the same position? And the reason I'm asking that is because I'm assuming there's a lot more actors than there's roles for in Hollywood. Because there's a lot more people who want to do and less movies. So what do they do? How do they fulfill their life, or survive?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have the survival jobs. I would say also write something. That's what I'm trying to. Write something that you want to play. Write something that you want to do and go shoot it. A lot of people do that, right?
Or like independent, right? Independent movie,
Yeah, you can shoot a movie on an iPhone now.
Yes.
Back when we couldn't do any of that.
Yes.
I used to have to drive. I remember we would get our stuff. We had pagers. We'd get faxed to us, right?
Yes, yes.
Or I'd have to go pick up the stuff at the casting office on Wilshire. You're like, now it's right in my phone. I shoot on my phone because we're all doing self-tape still, which is, I'm in my living room doing self-tapes. It's weird. I miss the collaboration, being in person, being with people. I miss that. I think you know this. In person, you can feel the energy.
Yes.
Through a Zoom, through whatever, something is missing there. It feels like it's two-dimensional or one-dimensional, I kind of went on a tangent, and back to the advice for kids or young adults. If you really want to do it, I think you just need to do it. Don't let anyone dissuade you, right? Have the confidence, keep going, create things that you want to create, shoot them, get with friends, get with your people. I always say improv too. I was studied at UCB. So improv also is great for just life. Just being able to talk and have a conversation, but educate yourself and have other interests,
So during career, if you had ups and downs, and then, you know, how did you come out of, you know, when you had a desperate moment or you had like a really big issue? What was the thing that you did?
Wow. There's a lot of obstacles. Obviously, there can be. You're too tall. You're too short. You're too this. You're too that. You're not pretty enough. You're too pretty. You're not thin. I mean, it runs a gamut.
Yes.
What really helped me was I found out. I went to this Actors Network group, and it was called a Type Me class. And if you don't know what you're selling and who you are, it's really difficult. You will bypass the pain and suffering. You know, everyone wants to be a leading actress, leading lady. Not everyone's a leading lady. Not everyone's a leading, you know. It's kind of that thing of, as I'm growing older, sitting into, I'd rather be a character actress with wearing no makeup, losing my hair, and give me a nose prosthetic. You know, let's do it.
Yes.
Let's have something
Yeah.
fun. I cried. I'll be honest. You know, in my 20s, it's very difficult to understand because you feel it's so personal at you. You know,
Like
and
you're left out, you're not,
right.
you know,
You're
why is he
something-
making it but I'm not?
Right, or there's something wrong with you. What's
Yeah.
wrong with me? Or what, you know, or am I talented enough or this, anything? You finally get to a point where it's like producers, in sitting behind the camera and watching casting sessions, because I've produced and I've plays and short films, and you start to see what, you see actors walk in that are you have actors walking in that are sabotaging themselves as they're walking in, and you see it. It's
Just the way they walk, or
It's the way they walk. You see the lack of self-confidence. You see they're nervous. You see, and that's fine. Look, we've all been nervous. There's been times
Yes, yes.
where my script is shaking,
Yes.
right? It's a, you know, because there's such a passion. We all want to do well. We all take it so seriously. So like they said, it's 31 flavors, and some days I'm the flavor they want, and some days I'm not.
yes.
And that's okay. It's now, I just don't take it I don't take it personally. I get it. I don't fit the look of the show. I don't match with that man as a husband and wife. Or, you know what I'm saying? It starts to
Yes.
become more, you think about it as a business. So I put my passion elsewhere. I'll do theater to get that fulfillment, and, or whatever, piano, singing, whatever I want to do. It's that thing of not putting so much on each job.
Yes.
That's what I've learned. You know, because if you want to do this, but I get it, it's heartbreaking. I don't know if I answered the question.
I think that's a great way to approach this. And speaking of the confidence, I remember people, you know, sometimes you watch a tennis match, it's
Yeah.
a final, right? And you see the two players
Yeah.
coming onto the field, right? And you just look at them, and one of them is more confident than the other, and he has that look like, you know, I'm just going to win. And the other one is more hesitant or whatever, you
Right.
know. And most of the time, the guy who's confident is going to
Yeah.
win, right?
Yes.
And especially like at some level, like most of these players in tennis, probably in acting the
Yeah.
same, they're pretty much the same skills, right? They're
Yeah.
one, you know, 100 or one, it's almost the same skills,
Yeah.
right? But it's like that day or power of the mind or whatever
Right.
that differentiates them.
And that, you know, the meditation and having a foundation and a practice, and it helps all of that, the focus, the clarity, your mind, and not to let things upset you like they would, or I'll speak
Yes.
for myself, like they did in the past. So yeah, it's taken many years, but I think I've gotten to a place where it's okay.
Well, you look like a well-balanced person, so
thank you.
that's fantastic.
Thank you.